Hey guys, I'm Jessie, and today I have a special TBR announcement video for you guys. Myself, along with Sophia from Sophia's Thoughts, are going to be doing yet another, a super chill readathon in the month of October. I'm really excited about this. We've been talking about it for a while. This readathon, again, there's no prompts, there's no teams or anything like that. This is literally more of a challenge than a readathon. And the whole concept is to get you and ourselves to read the book box books that keep piling up, that we keep getting from all the book boxes we get, and then they just go on the shelf and we never get to them. So this is going to be the month of book box books. And I am so excited because I have so many of them that I just want to get to. I have so many unread book box books, and so does Sophia. So that's why we decided to do this and to be all right, October is the month of reading all our book box books. So I am actually going to show you all of my unread FairyLoot, Illumicrate, and I think I have some OwlCrate books that I'm going to try to get to. Obviously, I know I'm not going to get to all of them, but these are all of the unread book box books that I have and that I'm going to try to get to. So we'll see. All right, the first one I have, I'm not so sure about. Not gonna lie, I'm not sure about this one. So I might start this one super early because what I want to do is I want to start them. And if I'm not loving books right now, I'm DNFing and unhauling. The rest of the year, my goal is to read my physical TBR, DNF and unhaul what I'm not loving. So if I'm not loving it, I'm a DNF and unhaul it. I'm only giving books about 50 to 100 pages. Then we done. They out. And the first one I'm going to try is Dark and Hollow Star. And this, I believe, is an urban fantasy fae romance. If you know me, you know that's probably not my thing, but I've also heard really good things about this book, so I'm going to try it out because I have it. But if I don't like it, I am going to get rid of it, even though the edges are super pretty and it's got such a pretty cover, and I've got all the, I think this one was Illumicrate. It's we're just going to see. This is the first one that I'm going to try out on my book box books reading adventure. The next one I'm actually super excited about, and that is The Ones We Are Meant to Find by Joanne He. This is a sci-fi dystopia, I believe, about two sisters, and one is stranded on Earth and one is on a spaceship, and they're trying to find each other, but I think the one that's stranded on Earth has memory loss. And that's all I really know. It sounds so good, and it's short. It's a pretty short book. I mean, for me, most of these are pretty short, and these book box books are mostly YA, and so I think I can read a whole lot of these really quickly, so I'm very excited. This will probably be a big reading month for me, numbers wise, but I'm definitely going to get to this one. Next up is another Illumicrate book, and that is In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland. I have heard such good things. I have heard that there's a polyamorous relationship in this. I just know that everyone I know that has read this book has really liked it. So I'm very, very excited to get to it. And he's pretty. All of these books are going to be some of the prettiest books I own because Illumicrate, FairyLoot, OwlCrate sorta, but I don't get OwlCrate anymore. But I have some that are still on here, but yeah. Next up, we have The Wolf and the Woodsman. Again, I've heard good things. I'm not most of these books, you're going to be I've heard good things. It's this minimal synopsis, and that's about it because I'm going in pretty blind to most of these. This is I think a loose retelling of Red Riding Hood. Obviously, Woods. And I think, is this the one where the girl, there was multiple retellings of Red Riding Hood that came out this year. There's The Wolf and the Woodsman and For the Wolf. And I'm I keep getting them confused in my head. I think this is the one where the girl turns into the wolf to protect her village. Okay. And no, that was for the wolf that I'm thinking of. Okay, there's one where like the girl turns into the wolf to protect her village. That's not this one, okay? This synopsis is, in her forest-veiled pagan village, Evie is the only woman without power, treated like an outcast due to her corrupt bloodline. So when soldiers arrive from the Holy Order of the Woodsmen to claim a girl for the king's blood sacrifice, she is betrayed by her villagers and surrendered. When the monsters attack en route to the capital, everyone but Evie and the cold one-eyed captain are murdered. But soon she learns he is no ordinary woodsman. He is Jaspar, the disgraced prince, whose cruelly zealous brother plans to seize the throne and instigate a reign of religious persecution. Okay, so this actually sounds more like, oh my god, what is it giving me? The Winter Witch. What is that? The Winter Witch series? You know what I'm talking about? Bear and the Nightingale. This gives me like really Bear and the Nightingale feels. And I haven't read that book yet either. But, okay, I'm excited. I'm gonna read this. Next up, we have the FairyLoot edition of Witches Steeped in Gold. I also have the OwlCrate edition, but I ended up with both. So I'm actually gonna unhaul the OwlCrate edition just because I don't need two. But, oh, isn't it pretty? Like, this one is stunning. And I'm really excited. This is like a Jamaican-inspired fantasy about two witches that are kind of like rivals, I think, but they have to like team up and work together, and I'm here for it. I'm very, very excited. It sounds good, and it's really pretty. So, of course, I have to like show you these covers. They're so pretty. This is like my prettiest TBR ever. And just for comparison, this is the OwlCrate edition, which is still really pretty, but it is so similar to the original cover. Like, come on, which one would you pick to keep? I feel like that's a no-brainer. I'm gonna definitely keep this one. Hopefully I like it so I don't end up having to unhaul this anyway. But this one gonna go to a new home. It's signed and OwlCrated and everything, so it's just gonna go. Next we have one of the books that I'm probably the most excited about because this was a super anticipated release for me. And this one is an adult book, which sometimes Illumicrate will do adult books. And they've done a few this year, actually. So this one is She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. I keep hearing how much I'm gonna love this because it's comparable to the Poppy War. And if you don't know, the Poppy War is like one of my favorite series. Like all time, it's up there. She up there. R.F. Kuang could do no wrong. So this being compared to it excites me. Plus this is beautiful. This cover is fantastic. Like I've heard it like compared to A Song of Achilles, and I believe there's a female-female relationship in it. I know that the main girl in this, and then her brother, and there's some prophecy that she is going to be nothing and her brother is going to be this like fantastic, amazing person. Then the brother dies, and like so she takes on his name and goes and studies under his name at the monastery. So I love anything with a prophecy. I've heard that it's very like light fantasy, so it's more historical fiction than fantasy, but there is fantastical elements, so I'm excited. Then we've got another one that I'm kind of iffy about, so I'm going to try to get to it early because like I said, I'm iffy about it. If I'm not loving it, I'm going to DNF it, and that is Lore by Alexandria Bracken. This is supposed to be like a Greek god's Hunger Games, I think, and I'm not sure. I've heard super mixed reviews on this, so I'm going to try to just like jump into it, get as far as I can, see if I'm liking it. If I'm liking it, I'll continue. If I'm not liking it, it's bye-bye. And I think this one was OwlCrate, if I'm not mistaken. Because usually my ones lately that have no sprayed edges were OwlCrate. Which was one of my complaints before I canceled them, was their edges weren't pretty. Then we've got another OwlCrate book that I'm actually super excited about, and that is Legend Born by Tracy Dion. I feel like this book needs no introduction. Like everybody knows about this. It's this girl and like her mother dies and she ends up going to this school, I believe like an early college program or something along those lines, finding out that she has powers, and It sounds kind of typical YA to me, but I've heard such good things about it and I'm really excited to get to it. So this one's kind of higher on the priority list. And again, this was OwlCrate. So honestly, like the cover is not different so much from the original. Like it's slightly different, but they could have done more, right? So another one that's like super high up on the list is Wings of Shadow by Nikki Palpretto. This is the third book in the, I don't know if there's like a series name, Crown of Feathers series, and this is the third and final book. This is the OwlCrate Special Edition, so it counts for this TBR, right? It counts, OwlCrate Special Edition. I'm going to be reading this along with Vish from Books with V. She's doing a read along in her Discord. She did the first 2 books these past 2 months and now onto this one, so I'm caught up and I'm gonna be reading this one. I loved the first 2 books. It's about like phoenix riders and they can talk to animals and animal magic, and I love it. It's such a good series and I'm very excited to see how it ends. Alright, we still got a lot to get through, so I'm just gonna try to power through them. The next one is The Devil Makes 3. This is an Illumicrate book, I believe. And this was like the most recent Illumicrate book. I had never heard of this, but Sophia actually read it and loved it already, so it sounds really good. It's set in a school, it's dark academia, and these kids basically open up a library book that releases a demon, I'm pretty sure. It's something along those lines. Libraries and demons and scholarly things and dark academia, and that's the vibes I'm getting. Plus, it's my favorite color. And I'm excited for this one. Next, we have Among the Beasts and Briars. I'm pretty sure this was also an OwlCrate book, which is surprising because it has pretty sprayed edges. Could be wrong though. I'm not 100% sure what this is. I think it's like a Sleeping Beauty retelling. Not totally sure. Haven't really heard very many people talk about it. But it's one of my book box books and I'm gonna try to get to it. Y'all, if I get to all these books this month, like, who is she? Next up, I have A Lesson in Vengeance. This was my last OwlCrate book. This is a dark academia. Again, I'm very excited to read it. I'm pretty sure this one involves like murder, mystery, dark academia, like friends going missing and dying. I actually really like what they did with this cover. I wish they had like stencils on the edges, but I do love these like silver sprayed edges. I think they're really pretty. I think that OwlCrate actually did a good job with this as my last book from them. Next, we have another OwlCrate book, and that is These Violent Delights. And this is the first in I think it's a duology, it might be a trilogy, but it's like a Romeo and Juliet retelling. Obviously, you can tell from the name, These Violent Delights. The last one like ends this quote, so I mean it is a Romeo and Juliet quote, but it's like set in 1920s Shanghai and there's magic. So again, I've heard mixed things, but I'm very excited to get to it. Then we have another, I think this was this FairyLoot or OwlCrate? I think this was OwlCrate too, and it's Sisters of the Snake. And I believe this is like a switched at birth, like missing twins separated at birth type story. And I'm very, very excited because I love those kind of stories. And the cover looks really good. It says, "A princess never falters. They think, they act, they succeed. I will play Rio with all the might I have. I practice a grin that does not waver, one fit for a princess and a thief." So it's like one is a princess, one is a thief, but they look so much alike. I think they trade places, so it's like very Parent Trap-esque. I don't know if they're actually sisters or not, but I think they are. I don't know, like separated sisters. I don't know, but I'm excited. We gonna try this one too. All right, I think we're down to the last 2, and this next one is a FairyLoot book, and I have heard nobody talk about it. I didn't even know about it when I received this book. And that is Fire with Fire. And this is like a YA fantasy dragon book. And I believe we also have sisters in this one. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, 2 sisters. Divided they burn. Fire with Fire by Destiny Soria. So I'm super excited just because I've never heard anyone talk about this. I didn't know about this book. I've never heard anyone talk about this book. So I'm excited to read it and just like form all my own opinions because I haven't heard anyone talk about it. And the final book in my pile of possibility with all of my book box books is A Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. I'm always really bad at forgetting the author's names. This again was in Illumicrate and so pretty. Love the sprayed edges. This is a sci-fi male romance basically. And from what I've heard, it is more heavy on the romance. So I'm still not really sure how I'm going to feel about it. So I'm iffy on this one just because I believe it is romance heavy and that is not normally my thing. But we're going to try it out. We're going to get to it. We're going to try to get to all these books. How many are there? Y'all, that's 16 books. Y'all know how many books I normally read in a month? Like 5. But I'm normally reading like big, thick adult books. So like maybe. And honestly, I have a feeling that a couple of these are going to be DNF unhauls. So I just want to like make sure. Actually, I think in November, I'm actually going to do a project where I read all the books on my shelf or start all the books on my shelf that I think I'm going to want to DNF and unhaul. So that could be a fun one. But yeah, we're going to try to get to 16 books. And technically I have 17 because not listed here is I pre-ordered When Night Breaks. Yeah, so I'm super excited to get to as many of these as I can. We'll see what happens. So let me know, are you going to join us and try to clear out your book box, books, like shelf, like just try to knock out reading these books with us? Because I think this is such a fun idea because as you can see, they keep building up and I get 3 a month. Well, 2 a month now because no more OwlCrate. But once FairyLoot opens up their adult box, which I'm very excited about, I put myself on the wait list for, I'll be getting 3 again because I'm going to do the regular FairyLoot adult, which is book only, and Illumicrate. Yeah, it's a lot. I know, but you know what? It's fun and we're going to clear all these books out. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. My name is Jessie and I will see you next time. Bye.